of my all-time favorite movies is Pretty Woman. It featured Julia Roberts and Richard Gere. I loved the romance, the rich, powerful man who's Richard Gere. He was known as Edward in that movie. Fall in love with a poor, vulnerable woman. I watched the movie when I was in my teens and just idealized Richard Gere until one of my friends described him as a rich man who sleeps with hookers. She ruined it. She ruined the romance for me completely. It was just like a kid finding out there's no tooth fairy or Santa. But that's not the part of the movie that still stands out to me. Close to the end of the movie, there's a scene where Richard Gere negotiated a deal to build big ships with James Morse, rather than take the company over and tear it into bits and pieces like he initially wanted to do. In that scene, Richard Gere was himself. There was no mask, there was no tough facade. It was just two genuine people connecting to create a win-win situation. Successful negotiation isn't about sacrificing your true self to get what you want. It's about creating win-win outcomes where both parties feel valued. In this episode, I will be discussing the power of negotiating authentically. I am your negotiation coach, Dr. Gloria Esoimeme. I'm a board-certified internal medicine physician with a master's in global health and a PhD in health services policy and management. When most people think of negotiation, they imagine men in dark suits, red ties. But that's not the secret to authentic negotiation. What we forget is that women negotiate all the time. So if you have kids, you're constantly negotiating. If you have a spouse, every single day, every single time. With your friends, you negotiate all the time. So all the relationships in your life are built through constant negotiating. And we do this through listening, empathy, patience, or sometimes we do it simply by just connecting with the need of the other person. However, when we approach negotiation at work, we forget those skills which we're so good at. And we not only forget those skills, we try to take on another persona rather than amplify the skills we already use expertly. Some women who are introverted may try to act loud and extroverted to secure a deal, but that's not her strength. If you are introverted, your strength may lie in your ability to listen deeply, your ability to understand unspoken concerns, while making the other person feel comfortable. So for someone who's introverted, rather than forcing yourself into an extroverted person, you should simply harness your strengths. You should listen, build rapport, and your goal is to influence the outcome. So here are 5 strategies for negotiating authentically. The first one is be yourself. Be yourself, but be strategic. Authenticity is a powerful tool in negotiation. When you show up as yourself, you build trust and credibility. However, being yourself doesn't mean being unprepared or aggressive or overly emotional. It just means balancing who you truly are with a strategic approach so you achieve the best possible outcome. Just like any other negotiation, the first thing is to be strategic, you need to understand what you bring to the table. We talked about your superpower. So know your value, whether it's your expertise, your leadership skills, or whatever contributions you bring to the organization. Use data and real examples to support your case, demonstrating why your ask is justified. While you're doing this, it's important that you pay attention to the other person's goals and constraints. Because to be strategic, you need to listen actively. You need to hear what the other person is saying. You need to ask the right questions and frame your request in such a way that it aligns with the company's priorities. So instead of just stating what you want, position yourself or your ask as a solution that benefits both sides, and be mindful of your delivery. We want to be confident, we want to be boss ladies, but also be flexible. Read the room, adjust your tone if needed, and be willing to find creative solutions that meet both your needs and those of your employer. Being yourself means negotiating with authenticity, but being strategic ensures that authenticity works in your favor. So the combination of both makes you a persuasive and effective negotiator. We talked about number one, which is being yourself. And number two is, if you want to ask, so ask in a relational and collaborative way. So instead of saying, I want a higher salary because I deserve it, you can try and say, with my expertise in, let's say, communication. So with my expertise in communication, I can help drive sales and retain customers. And I believe a salary adjustment reflects my contribution to that goal. So instead of just asking for more pay or benefits, you present yourself, or you present the situation as an investment in someone who produces results for the organization. So the third is to use assertive yet approachable language. So when you come into negotiation with calm confidence and clear communication, it is more effective than being aggressive or being apologetic. It's very important because women are often judged more harshly for being assertive, and yet we're overlooked when we don't speak up. So you should be polite, yet firm and persistent. And you should also anticipate the objections that may come up and offer solutions. So most people would say budget will be a concern. So you can propose alternatives like professional development opportunities, maybe paid time off. Number 4, negotiate with a purpose. Jacqueline Twilly encourages women to approach negotiation as if they are advocating for someone else. This mindset shift allows women to detach from self-doubt and approach the conversation with greater confidence and clarity. So to negotiate effectively, you connect your request to a purpose that's larger than yourself. This could mean you wanting to secure a better salary. It's not just because you want more money, but you want to support your family. You want to invest in your community. Or if you are trying to advance your career, that's career advancement might just align with your values. So when your negotiation is rooted in meaningful purpose, you not only gain the confidence to ask for what you deserve, but you also communicate your request with conviction and impact. And by framing your ask in this way, you transform negotiation from a self-focused request into a mission-driven conversation, one that benefits both you and those who rely on you. And when you believe in the greater purpose behind your negotiation, you naturally advocate with more determination, making it more likely you will achieve a positive outcome. And number 5, align your value with the organizational goals. So it's crucial to understand your company's priorities and demonstrate on how your contributions align with them. But when you frame your request in a way that highlights the value you bring to the organization, your negotiation becomes more compelling and harder to dismiss. So by showing how your success contributes to the company's goals, you position yourself as a strategic asset rather than just another employee asking for more. I'll give you examples. So if they value cost savings, show how your role improves efficiency. And if innovation is a focus, highlight how your skills contribute to new initiatives. And if retention is a concern, demonstrate how when they meet your request, you are going to be with them for the long haul. You want to frame your request in a way that directly benefits the company. When you negotiate authentically, what you're doing, you're simply leveraging your strengths rather than mimicking someone else's style. And as women, there's this complex balance between being assertive and being likable. But success comes from refining your natural skills and aligning negotiation with the shared goals. By focusing on strategy, confidence, and authenticity, women can advocate for themselves effectively without compromising their identity. So, key points to remember: you don't have to adopt an aggressive persona to be an effective negotiator. Number two, leverage your strengths, whether it's listening, relationship building, or strategic thinking. Leverage that strength. And number three, frame negotiation in terms of mutual benefits and organizational value. Number four, use confident and clear communication while you're still trying to be approachable. And then number five, advocate for yourself as if you were advocating for someone else. I want you to know there's no limit to how much you can develop your negotiation skills. The more we practice, the better we become and progress in our careers. Imagine negotiating consistently with great results without having to go out of character. That's my goal for you as you continue to listen to my podcast and read books that help you develop your negotiation and leadership skills. I have a few requests. The first request is the next time you approach negotiation for whatever reason, whether it's for a raise, a promotion, or a new opportunity, do it with authenticity. Be yourself. I want you to take stock of your natural strengths and I want you to refine your approach while you do that. Look for an opportunity to negotiate this week. The more you practice negotiating authentically, the more comfortable and effective you become. If you negotiate if you do that, if you find an opportunity, when you find an opportunity to negotiate, send me a private message. I want to hear all about it. And I have an ask. I want you to come work with me. I still have a few slots available. If you want to fast track your growth, I'm still accepting clients. You can reach out to me on LinkedIn. Let's schedule a call to see if we are a good fit. And I also want you to let me know if there are any topics you want me to discuss, or if you have questions based on this episode. I will see you in the next episode. Be great. Bye.